Hey, folks. It's your bud. Listen, I was just watching this thing on a national um, organization for marriage and Byron Brown, and what has happened down in Washington was really wasn't a vote. It wasn't like the people said, "Well, hey, we don't want this." A corrupt politician said, "No, you're going to get this whether you like it or not." You know, they actually didn't care for a vote. There's not a process, and then they blocked it out. So it's corrupt politician. I think it's a classic example to show that you cannot have morality without God. And considering this thing with the a gay or same sex or homosexual marriage, which is what it is, because they changed the wording. It's actually homosexual people that can only have anal and oral sex, and they call that love, uh, and they divide themselves into a separate entity or group. And that's my point. It is so cunning. It's like a serpent. It only needs like a small hole like this, and then a whole body of the darn creature could get in. And it just amazes me. And I have a newfound respect for the power of God. And I'll tell you why. Let me tell you. The devil in the garden said there was a lie, and deceit is this. It does the very opposite. It tries to, Judas betrayed Jesus with a kiss. Said, "I love you. I love you." Basically, that's what it was. You know, with a very kiss, the thing that you would think that would be love. It's like, we're doing this. He's like, "I'm greeting you. I'm doing this in the name of love." When actually he was betraying him and sending him to his death. And beyond the fact of who he was sending, it was like how he was sending him. He used love as an excuse, or as a deceit, the vehicle, as a camouflage. I mean, that is just so amazing. And it was so amazing. And you know what? I've come to feel some betrayal and understand and there's been people who, that's the worst part of like somebody cheating on you. Like, they betray you and then they turn around and say to your face, "I love you." That hurts. Ever hear somebody actually, you caught them in the act, and then they turn around because they didn't know they caught, and then they immediately say to your face, "I love you." So let's understand that about how deceiving, and then the whole thing is you want to believe that, but your own mind, you wouldn't believe it if you didn't actually know it. It was, so that amazes me. But it's the very thing that they said, you know what, two of the homosexuals I saw in a thing online had actually said a church had blessed their gay or homosexual marriage. A church. So they said this. Oh, we had a holy. This is deceit. They said we had a holy wedding. They said a church blessed it. Now, this is again back to my example. The misconception that you don't have holiness without God. You don't have morality without God. Those come from God. They're not innate in man. And so what is innate in man is deceit. Okay? That's, you don't have to teach a child how to lie. So it's just our nature. But after a while, and when you through Christ, your spirit is changed, and so those things become unpleasing, even to your very nature. So, it's just a process. But God said they had a holy Mary. The church don't make things holy. God makes things holy. So that's what these two homosexuals deceitfully said it or complained ignorance. And I don't believe that. They said it intentionally to deceive. And so you can deceive people with love. And so, Judas thought when he was kissing Christ that he was deceiving Christ. He thought he was deceiving. And Christ said, you betrayed me with a kiss? No, with a kiss? Knew it all along. And so because of things like that, I've come in this situation, I found a new respect and love and honor for who God really is. Because it's just like, wow, he knew it all along. He knew all of this was all along. And let me tell you, because it separates people. The thing the devil did in the garden is what he said. It's like, he said, did God tell you not to touch the fruit? He said, and Eve said, yes, God told us not to touch the fruit, to see it, not even to touch it. And then she said, because the day we touch it, we will surely die. And the devil said, the first thing, he said, you will surely not die. I mean, the exact lie, the exact thing that God told him, he flips it around and says, oh, you will surely not die because God knows you'll be like him. Well, if you're a child of God, you're already like him. So it was just deception. But this is the thing. Now, and this is this direct deception. Now, out of the sake of unity, out of the sake of love, homosexuals have said, we want this as a civil right for the sake of unity and a humanity right when it's inhumanity laws, because it doesn't produce humanity. But for the sake of this, for the sake of unity and commonality among people and love, we should have a form of marriage. And so what happens immediately is that really what has actually happened is they have completely divided marriage. Something that was always one was now divided. It's divided. We have two forms of marriage. How is that unity? How is that commonality? Now we have a separate form of marriage. A separate form, same-sex marriage. What are the characteristics of that marriage? Well, they're the same sex. They can never, ever have children. They can never create life. God says the wages of sin is death. There's no life in that marriage. There's no life. It can't even produce. There's no humanity coming from it. So for the sake of, this is to help bind and create commonality and unity, is actually dividing and creates no humanity and divides. And it's the whole thing is divided. If you have two males and two males, usually in a regular marriage, you say head of a house, would normally be the male, head of house, Now some women wear the pants, but normally, you would think head of house. So if you have a decision, it's like the House of Representatives, how our government is set up. If you have two houses, they debate, and then you have one head, like the president or something, that actually makes the final decision. So now you have two heads that are supposed to be equal. The woman is supposed to be a helpmeet. It says to help meet. That's what it's supposed to be in the Bible. Now, I know you all have your own definitions, but, this is the thing. I think the whole homosexual movement is all, I heard this is Women's History Month, so I'm trying to be politically correct. I don't know the ins and outs of feminists, but I hear that as feminist because it depowers a man. When you have men acting like females and females acting like men lose on both occasions. When men become submissive instead of standing in their authority and not the head of a household, and then you have the woman who is independent of a man and dominant of a man, then you don't have the man lose on both accounts. That's a personal thing, another issue. I'll deal with that another time. It's been 10 minutes, but we're here out of love.